How to speak clearly and connect better. Introduction. Hello and welcome to LinguaSync. My name is Jamie Walker, and today we will talk about communication, one of the most important skills in life. Communication is more than speaking. It is about connecting with people, sharing ideas, and building trust. The way we speak and listen can change how people see us and how we feel about ourselves. Think about the people you enjoy listening to. They don't always use difficult words, but when they speak, you feel interested and comfortable. Their voice, their body language, and their stories make you want to listen more. This is the kind of communication we all can learn, step by step. In this episode, I will share 10 simple tips that will help you become a better communicator. These tips are easy to understand and easy to practice in daily life, whether you are at work, school, or even just talking with friends. These techniques will make your conversations clearer, warmer, and more memorable. Part 1, the 7-second rule. First impressions. People often make quick judgments about us without even hearing a word. Research shows that in the first few seconds, others already form an opinion about our confidence, attitude, and energy. This happens through body language, eye contact, posture, and facial expressions. In other words, you are speaking even before you open your mouth. Imagine walking into a room for a meeting or an interview. If you sit with a slouched back, avoid eye contact, and look distracted, people may think you are not confident. But if you walk in with a straight posture, a calm smile, and steady eye contact, people will see you as friendly and professional. These small signals create a big difference. That's why it's important to be aware of the message your body sends. A warm smile, relaxed shoulders, and good posture can make people feel comfortable around you. First impressions may happen quickly, but you can guide them with simple habits that show respect and openness. Part 2, the power of storytelling. Stories are one of the oldest and most powerful ways to communicate. Long before books or the internet, people shared wisdom, culture, and lessons through stories told around the fire. A story can turn a simple message into something memorable and emotional. Unlike plain facts, stories make people feel connected and engaged. Think of the difference between saying hard work is important and telling a short story about someone who studied every night under a streetlight and later became a doctor. The story makes the idea more real and inspiring. People remember stories because they can imagine the situation and feel the emotions inside it. That is why good communicators often use stories to share ideas. You don't need to be a writer or performer to tell stories well. Start with small, real-life examples from your own experiences. Keep them short, clear, and focused on one message. Add a little emotion, such as a challenge and a lesson learned, and people will naturally connect with your words. Part 3. Empathy. Empathy means the ability to feel what another person feels. It is more than just listening to words, it is listening with your heart. When you show empathy, people feel safe, respected, and valued. Without it, conversations can feel cold, empty, or disconnected. Imagine sharing a problem with a friend. One friend says quickly, "Oh, don't worry, it's nothing," while another listens carefully, nods, and says, "That sounds really difficult. I can understand why you feel stressed." Which friend would you feel closer to? Of course, the second one, because they made you feel understood. You can practice empathy in small but powerful ways. Put away distractions when someone speaks, listen without interrupting, and use words that show you care. You don't always need to fix the problem. Sometimes just showing that you understand is enough. Empathy creates stronger bonds and makes communication more human. Part 4. Using names. A person's name is one of the most important words they will ever hear. It is tied to their identity, their memories, and their sense of self. When you use someone's name naturally in a conversation, it shows that you see them as an individual, not just another face. This small habit can create warmth and connection very quickly. Think about being in a busy cafe. Instead of being called by a number, the barista says your name with a smile when handing you your drink. That small moment makes you feel noticed and valued. The same effect happens in meetings, classrooms, or even casual conversations. Hearing your name makes the interaction more personal and meaningful. The key is to use names with sincerity, not too often or in a forced way. Say someone's name when you greet them, when you make an important point, or when you end a conversation. A simple "Thank you, Maria," or "I understand, David," can make the person feel respected. Remember, in a world where people often feel invisible, using a name can make them feel seen. Part 5. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your own feelings and also recognize the feelings of others. It helps you manage emotions instead of letting them control you. In communication, this means you can stay calm even in difficult situations. People who show emotional intelligence are often trusted because they respond thoughtfully instead of reacting quickly. Imagine someone criticizes your idea in a meeting. If you react immediately with anger, you might say something you regret and appear unprofessional. But if you pause, take a breath, and respond politely, you show maturity and confidence. This calm response can even turn a negative moment into an opportunity to build respect. To practice emotional intelligence, try naming your emotions when they appear, such as "I feel nervous" or "I feel upset." Then ask yourself what response will help the situation instead of making it worse. Remember, communication is not just about the right words, it is also about the right attitude. A calm and balanced voice often speaks louder than quick reactions. Part 6. The echo technique. The echo technique is a simple but powerful way to show that you are really listening. It means repeating a small part of what the other person just said in a warm and natural way. This makes them feel heard and encourages them to share more. It also shows that you are paying attention, not just waiting for your turn to speak. For example, if a friend says, "I've been very stressed at work," you might reply, "Stressed at work?" This short echo invites them to continue and explain more. They may respond, "Yes, my boss keeps giving me tight deadlines." Now the conversation grows deeper simply because you reflected their words back to them. The key is to echo only important words or emotions, not every sentence. Use a gentle, curious tone so it feels natural. This technique works well in everyday conversations, but also in leadership, negotiation, and even conflict resolution. When people feel understood, they are more open and willing to connect with you. Part 7. Voice modulation. Your voice is more than just sound, it is the music behind your words. If you speak in a flat, dull tone, even the most interesting message may feel boring. But when you use changes in pitch, speed, and pauses, your speech becomes alive and engaging. Voice modulation helps people stay interested and makes your message easier to remember. For example, when you're excited about something, let your pitch rise a little and speak slightly faster to show your energy. When you are talking about something serious, slow down and lower your voice to add weight to your words. And don't forget the power of silence. Pausing for a moment after an important point allows the listener to absorb it fully. Great speakers often use these techniques to make their talk sound like a story rather than a lecture. You can practice voice modulation by reading a short paragraph out loud in different ways. Try speaking it fast, slow, high and low, and notice how the feeling changes. With practice, you will learn to match your tone to your message naturally. A well-controlled voice shows confidence and keeps your audience connected to your words. Part 8. The broken record technique. Sometimes in conversations, people may push you to do something you don't want to do. They may insist, argue, or try to change your mind. In these situations, it can be difficult to stay calm without getting angry or defensive. The broken record technique is a simple method that helps you keep your boundaries clear without losing control. This technique means calmly repeating your main point again and again, just like an old record. For example, if someone keeps offering you a drink you don't want, you can simply say, "No, thank you. I'm not drinking tonight." If they insist, you repeat in the same calm voice, "No, thank you. I'm not drinking tonight." After a few times, they usually stop because they see you are serious but respectful. The power of this method is that it shows firmness without aggression. You are not fighting or explaining too much. You are simply repeating your choice with calm confidence. This can be useful in social situations, at work, or even in negotiations. By using the broken record technique, you show others that you respect yourself and your boundaries. Part 9. Humor. Humor is one of the easiest ways to make communication warm and memorable. It helps people relax, lowers tension, and makes conversations more enjoyable. A small joke or light comment can show that you are approachable and friendly. When people laugh with you, they often feel more comfortable opening up. For example, in a job interview, if someone asks about a mistake you made, you might smile and say, "Only one mistake. I have many to choose from." This kind of gentle humor makes the situation lighter without being disrespectful. It shows confidence and helps the other person see you as real and relatable. Humor works best when it feels natural and kind. The important thing is to avoid making jokes at someone else's expense. Instead, use humor about yourself or about everyday situations. Be simple, light, and respectful. When you use humor in the right way, you not only make people smile, but also create a stronger connection that lasts beyond the conversation. Part 10. Vulnerability. Vulnerability means being open and real about your feelings, experiences, and challenges. Many people think it shows weakness, but in truth it shows courage. When you share something honest about yourself, others often feel closer to you. They realize you are human, just like them, and this creates deeper trust. For example, imagine you are giving a talk. You could stand on stage and act as if everything in your life has always been perfect, but people may not connect with that. Instead, if you share a short story about a time you felt lost or made a mistake, the audience will lean in and listen. They may even see their own struggles in your story. This makes your words more powerful and more memorable. The key is to share the right story at the right time in a way that feels natural. Vulnerability is not about telling every detail of your life. It is about choosing moments that carry meaning and lessons. When you are willing to be open, you give others permission to be open too. This creates honest conversations that touch both the mind and the heart. Final thoughts. Good communication is not about speaking the loudest or using the fanciest words. It is about connecting with people in a way that feels natural, clear, and respectful. When you use the tips we have talked about, from body language and storytelling to empathy and vulnerability, you give your words more meaning. Little by little, these habits can change the way others listen to you and the way you feel when you speak. Remember, communication is a skill you can always improve. You don't need to be perfect to make a strong impact. You just need to be real, present, and willing to grow. Every conversation is a chance to practice, whether at work, at school, or even with friends and family. Over time, these small steps can help you build stronger connections everywhere you go. So as you move forward, think of communication not only as a tool but as a bridge. It is a bridge that helps you understand others and lets them understand you. Use that bridge wisely with kindness, empathy, and clarity. When you do, your conversations will not only share information but also create lasting relationships. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 tips do you think will help you the most in your daily life? Maybe it's learning to use body language better, practicing empathy, or adding a little humor to your conversations. Write your thoughts in the comments below. By sharing your ideas, you not only reflect on your own learning, but also encourage other listeners who are on the same journey. Your experiences and reflections can inspire someone else to keep practicing. I'll be reading your comments, and I look forward to seeing how you apply these tips in your life. Let's turn this podcast into a space where we learn from one another and grow together. So go ahead, write your thoughts below, and let's continue building stronger communication, one conversation at a time.